Well, good morning. Good morning. Is host Pastor Isaac, and we are excited to be with you this morning. Listen, I needed to jump on real quick and just to encourage everyone to continue to just hold on to the promises of God. And this morning, beloved, I have to jump off the broadcast this morning because we do have some early pickup assignments that we have to do. And beloved, just as we started on yesterday, we want to continue to keep our educators lifted up in prayer. We want to continue to pray for parents that are homeschooling and parents that are single parents that have to, they're juggling between how now with these online classes, how to keep their children active in the class and everything of that nature. And we're praying that the school districts would require that these children have their video on. I don't know, I jumped on last night, but I don't know if anyone was able to get it because I did it from my mobile device while I was traveling. But I got information, and it's a little bit disturbing that there are times when the child, all they have to do is log into the class, but they don't have to have the video on, and there's no way that the teacher would actually know whether or not that child is sitting in front of their computer listening, or the child could be distracted or doing something else. So, beloved, and what really hurt me was to hear information how parents are bickering and being discriminatory based on the backdrop of a child that doesn't have that affluent upbringing and or may not have the means to do the same. So what I'm recommending is that with Zoom there is a virtual backdrop that these children can put up on their screen, or take that child, put them up against a plain wall that the computer is looking at, with that plain wall in the back of that child. That way that child doesn't feel intimidated or feel less than. Come on, somebody. We're going to pray for our children because this is impacting them. And it's bad enough when they're in the classroom, that you have some kids that don't have the right upbringing and who would cause strife and mischief. But one thing that we don't want, beloved, now that these children are at home, we want these children to learn. We want these children to understand that they have the same opportunities. And what I love about it, beloved, is that, it doesn't matter whether or not someone deems you to be an underdog or deems you to be less than. What matters is, how do you see yourself? What do you see? And what are you saying as it relates to your future? And this is why we as parents and grandparents or community have to encourage these children to understand the possibilities of their future and understand that it does not matter. They still have the same chance or opportunity, if you will, to succeed in whatever the dream is or whatever the career aspirations that they may have. We have to turn the table. We have to turn the table. See, if I had listened to all of the naysayers on what I couldn't do, wouldn't be, I would not have accomplished what I've accomplished in my life. I would not have been able to do 21 years of active service and retire prior to the age of 40. Come on, somebody. Y'all ain't talking to me. I would not have even attempted to go into the military. And even once I got in the military, it was more of the same. I had individuals there telling me, I wasn't going to last through boot camp. My company commander said, you're too short, this and that or the other. You won't even survive, 8 weeks of this basic training. But after week 1, he comes back and says, Doyle, I want you to be the guide on. You're going to be out front. God has a way of positioning you when the enemy thought he was going to defeat you and cause you to give up. But when you have that push mentality, I'm saying it again, you'll understand that you're not listening to what man is saying, but you're listening to that inner voice, that voice that tells you what you can do, that voice that tells you you're greater than. And this is what our children are in need of. They're in need of positive reinforcement. They have so much negative information that is dumped on them day in and day out. First, from their peers. And secondly, now they're hearing it from social media. And this is why, I'm encouraging parents to get intrusive with your children's devices. If you're paying a bill, they don't have a right to say you don't have a right to look at it. Y'all ain't talking to me this morning. Anything that I'm paying for, I hold the key to it. And if I feel like going into it and unlocking it, guess what? That's my right because I own it. You own those devices, parents, grandparents. You're paying the bill. Are you hearing me? If you are paying the bill, it's a privilege for them to have access to it, not a right. You take your rightful right so that you'll know what's going on. What is the information that they are receiving? Good morning, everybody. What is the information that they are conveying? What is their communication like? Evil communications corrupt good manners. That's Bible. So, parents, be intrusive. I told y'all, there are no doors that shut in my house unless I allow it. I would take doors off the hinges. You don't slam no door in my house. You don't storm off when I'm talking to you. Y'all ain't saying nothing to me. Teach by leading and lead while you're teaching. These teachers and educators have it tough enough when the kids were coming into the classroom. Some parents are now getting a dose of what the teachers have been saying all along about their child, how disruptive and disconnected that child has been. Now the parent is now having to sit, watch, and or seeing exactly what the teachers have been saying. But beloved, we can change that situation. We must push through, and we must teach these children and create that environment where they now want to be a part of it. And they have that sense of need to be a part of it. We're going to continue to pray for our educators. We're going to continue to pray that parents stop all of this foolishness. Looking at the backdrops of someone's home and criticizing. Why would you criticize when you should be energizing? If you can criticize, you can energize. You can connect with someone and make their environment better. That's your role. Our role is to bring light into a dark place. Be the light that dispels the darkness. Don't sit on the sideline. If you hear it, stop it. Remember, anytime someone comes to you with something negative, turn it around and say, let's pray about it. Turn it around and show them what's possible. Reach out to some child that's in need. The greatest thing I've ever seen was going to the clothes closet. It's a nonprofit organization. And I took a group of kids there. And my role is to teach them how to give back. So we donate our time to the food banks, clothing closets. Y'all ain't saying nothing to me. And I want these children that I coach to understand their lot in life, if you will, and not to just assume that everyone has access to the things that they have access to. And what was most impactful during the time that we was at the clothes closet was you saw kids, because they give you a list with names on it. And you have to pack clothes based on the sizes that's on that list with that name. What was impactful and most impactful, not only to me, but to those children, was that they got to see kids that they knew. They saw their name in the school. They had no idea that these children lacked basic things because they have it, so they figure everybody else has it. And the thing was that I saw tears coming out of these children's eyes, because now they didn't take it, run and criticize. They went home and said, listen, told their parents at the end of our session. I heard children telling parents, I have all of this stuff at home that I don't even use. Can I just give it to somebody that needs it? That's what I'm talking about. We have to create that environment where our young people understand what community is, understand how to be a blessing. You are created to be a blessing. Go back to Genesis chapter 12, when God was telling Abraham to leave his country and go into a place where he was going to lead him. Keep reading in chapter 12. You'll understand, and God said, and I will make your name great, and I'm going to make you a blessing. I will bless them that bless you, and I will curse them that curse you. Come on, beloved. I got to get up out of here. Denise, we're going to get your testimony, but I have to get on the road. I got 2 minutes. Got 1 minute now, and I got to leave. But listen, beloved, we need to create the environment for our children to enlarge their territories. These educators are in a position where that's their role, but their role is not to be the parent. Their role is to bring information into the children's environment for them to grab hold of. But it's the parent's job to raise that child. It's the parent's job to teach that child how to respect elders and teachers, educators. They're considered to be elders. They have something that those children need. They're not on an equal playing field with these educators. They don't have a right to call that teacher by their first name. And it disturbs me. I told y'all when I'm coaching, when I get a team, all of my kids, even in my high school kids, my volleyball kids, and the parents know from day one, as long as this child is under my authority this season, they will not address an adult without putting a handle on it. That's right, beloved. I require them to say, ma'am, sir, yes. They don't even have a right to tell a parent call a child by their name. The last thing they're ever going to hear that child say while they're in my presence is what? You don't have that right to tell a parent, what do you want? No. It's yes, mom, dad. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. I require that level of respect. And beloved, if that parent is not comfortable with that, then they can remove their child from my team. Period. I don't waver off of that principle. I require these children to show appreciation to their parents for the privilege that the parents are giving them based on the sacrifices, the financial sacrifices and the time sacrifices that they have to make to bring those children to practice or to bring those children to 12-hour tournaments on weekends. I find out what is the one thing your parent constantly has to remind you to do at home. Clean my room. Well, guess what? From this day forward, that's the last time they're going to have to ask you that. Because if I find out that they have to ask you that again, you don't get to play. You get to practice, but you won't get no playing time. You'd be amazed at what happens when you set expectations. Children love to rise to great expectations when you can see the good in them and you see the light in them. And it don't matter what it was that the parent, like I said, the majority of it is keeping their room clean. And I explained to them why it's important that they show that level of appreciation and respect. And they'd be like, wow, Coach, I didn't see it that way. And my nickname is Coach Snappy. Long story short, it's not a negative snap, but it's a positive snap because I snap them out of that negative way of thinking, and I push them to see their value and worth. That's my role. God bless you today, beloved. I'm 3 minutes over. We thank God for you. We got to get up out of here. Continue to pray and continue to lift our educators, continue to lift our parents that are homeschooling, continue to lift these children, that they would see that even in this shift and change of how they're learning, they still have access. They still have access. It's just a different way now. And we're all making adjustments. We're having what's considered media fatigue, social media fatigue, or just plain media fatigue, simply because you're sitting in front of a computer pretty much all day. But beloved, when you are enjoying what you're doing, it's not fatigue. You look forward to it. Just like I look forward to sharing with you guys every morning. God bless you this morning. This is host Pastor Isaac on the Brighter Day broadcast. We hope we've said or done something that encouraged you today to make the day brighter for somebody. Look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, I love you. I love Isaac. Whoever it is, love yourself. Show yourself love. Respect yourself. And others will see it and they will follow suit. God bless you this morning. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow. God bless.